Welcome everyone for this wonderful webinar. We've been so lucky and so honored to organize this webinar because it gives us so much immense pleasure in doing this with association with School of Law and DSA joining hands together for this wonderful kind of a webinar, because the motto itself gives us so much pleasure, because we have speakers from Families of Joy Foundation who are here in these testing terms where child adoption is become a very major importance for the world, because this child adoption is going to give us so much strength going forward, because during these COVID-19 situations where all the kids, mostly youngsters and even teenagers, they've lost their mother and child together. So this is what we will be going ahead and covering on this webinar. And to speak about this, to start off the webinar, I give the mic and the stage to, of course, the virtual stage to our DSA director, Ms. Neha Prabha ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Naveen. Very good afternoon. On behalf of Department of Student Affairs, we extend a gracious and inclusive welcome to all those who are present here. Yes, as COVID-19 has ravaged our nation, it has been particularly heart-wrenching to read stories about children who have become orphans, losing both parents to the disease. To create an awareness, Department of Student Affairs and the School of Law, in association with Families of Joy Foundation, planned a webinar on reimagining child adoption, an awareness program. We are so happy we are having three speakers. Avinash Kumar, Mr. Avinash Kumar, and he's a founder director of Families of Joy Foundation, and Girija Rajesh, she is an adoption counselor and an inter-country adoption representative, and of course Sheetal Vora, she's a trained and experienced Montessori director, and our own colleague Swati from School of Law. So without taking much time, I'm handing over to Naveen. Naveen, please take it. I'm very eager to hear from the other side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neha ma'am. As always, very energetic and very cheerful in opening up a wonderful and, of course, very informative webinar that we'll be heading into. Also, to start off the expert session, we do have our in-house assistant professor from School of Law, Ms. Swati Sharma there, who will be making sure she mentions the acts that is involved in adopting a child, wherein a layman like us can understand what is the rules and regulations that needs to be followed and under which act the adoption laws will come in. So over to you, Ms. Swati Sharma.
Thank you, Naveen sir. So basically for adoption in India, there are four major acts which are present. The first one being the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, which caters to Hindus, Buddhists, Jains and Sikhs, and it talks about the capacity to adopt. The only issue and problem here is that a female, when she is adopting, she can only adopt when her husband suffers from certain disability, or he has renounced the world, or has been declared sort of an unsound mind. So there is where the issue was there, for earlier when adoptions were being happening under Hindu Adoptions Act. The capacity to give for adoption can be done by the mother, the father or the guardian. They can give the child for adoption, and the father can give the child for adoption only after taking the consent from the mother. And the effect of adoption under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act was that once adopted, the child had to sever all his ties with his natural parents. Now coming to the Guardians and Wards Act of 1890, which basically caters to Muslims, Parsis, Christians and Jews. Now under these laws, under these personal laws, there is no concept of adoption. What they have is the concept of guardianship, and they have foster care. So catering to that, Muslim law, under Muslim law we had kafala, which is basically the appointment of a guardian for a child, and it is done basically to save the integrity of the family lineage. They do not want it to get hampered. So there is no adoption, but there is guardianship. Similarly, under Christian and Parsi law, you can give the child under foster care and not for adoption. So that is where it really differs as far as Muslim, Parsi, Christian and Jew laws are concerned. Now, the third concept is the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act, which was passed recently in 2015, and it talks about a very interesting term called prospective parents. So, if you have that checklist where you have, your tick marks on all the boxes, you become prospective parents, and then you can go ahead and adopt a child. That checklist consists of that you should be mentally sound, physically fit, and you should be fully prepared to adopt a child. And if it is a married couple, then the consent of both the spouses are required. A single male cannot adopt a girl child, and no child shall be given to a couple until they have had at least 2 years of stable relationship. And the minimum age difference between adoptive child and the parents should not be less than 25 of years. And finally, coming on to our very beautiful, very nicely, very well drafted act, which is CARA, which is Central Adoption Resource Authority. It is basically coming under the Ministry of Women and Child Development under Government of India. So it functions as a central or a nodal body, and it takes care and it keeps an eye on the inter-country and in-country adoptions. So here a single woman, unmarried, widow, divorcee or a married couple, an NRI, a foreign citizen, anyone can go in for adoption. And parents, either anyone who's taking care of the child can give the child for adoption. A lot of rules have been made user friendly, we can say, here under CARA. And if both the parents are dead, then a competent authority who is taking care of the child can give the child for adoption. Now, the only criteria here is that child must be legally free of adoption. Unrelated children cannot be given to a foreign family, and a child has to be placed under adoption before he or she reaches the age of 12 years, and the consent of the child is very, very important. So 4 things which are very, very important, 4 laws which you need to cater to for adoption in India. Thank you so much.
So that brings us to this conclusion of a wonderful and meaningful, I should say, more than intrusive of knowledge or exciting. It does meaningful works, and this webinar has been the meaningful webinar of sorts. Families of Joy and Foundation, thank you so much for being associated with the School of Law and DSA from Presidency University, and also I personally, on behalf of the whole Presidency University fraternity, thank your foundation there, Mr. Avinash, and also Girija Rajesh, and also Mr. Sheetal Vora for making this a wonderful thing. And also personal thanks there for Swati Sharma, also our in-house assistant professor of School of Law in Presidency University, were making sure all the laws and acts were put across so wonderfully so that a layman can understand from a lawman. Right? And special thanks again to Avinash's close friend, Mr. Arun Menon, and I will be again calling him and thanking him on personal as well to bring up such a wonderful idea to us, and a wonderful webinar which we could facilitate. So thanks one and all, and keep up the good work, Mr. Avinash and team. I'm really happy that you're doing this for the world. Thank you so much.